city of Guaymas is the largest port on the Sea of Cortez, with a population of approximately 130,000 people. One of its major industries is the shrimp and fishing fleet. But I am putting off telling you about what really happened to us in Guaymas. In the 2 previous episodes, we mentioned tasks that we would like to complete during our 2-week stay at La Brisa. The list included replace port gaskets, service sea cocks, replace hoses, replace anodes, clean and paint the bilge, track the systems, and sand the bottom. So how did that go? And what happened to the list? Unexpected circumstances are all I can say. So, would you say everything went according to plan?
No, I don't think it did.
Why not?
We got there that first night, didn't know the systems or how the yard worked or how the boat worked. We had our Lucy lights in an ice chest, and we were camping on board our boat. First night on board our boat, we were camping.
Yeah, the next day we plugged into power at the pedestal, got the freezer on board the boat going, no refrigerator, no propane. We are going to save that for later once we figure out how it all works.
Once you got the critical things going.
Yeah. But were there some surprises?
Well, yes, there were. As we were unpacking the bilge, we found that there was liquid in the bottom of the bilge.
Really smelly.
Smelly
liquid.
And black and thick, we thought, and we didn't know how much it was.
A lot.
But we knew it was a lot.
The bilge problem was impossible to ignore. It was nauseating to be in the boat, but we were perplexed. Where did all that liquid come from and what to do? We've been told Perkins diesels leak, so perhaps some of the oil came from the Perkins. When the engine inspection was done in July, the injectors had to be bled several times due to a vacuum on the fuel uptake hose in the fuel tank. So perhaps that accounted for the overpowering smell of diesel. But all that water, where did it come from? Lee removed the water maker filters and membrane to allow better access to the lower bilge. He plugged and labeled each hose. We took lots of pictures, and hopefully we can put it all back together, as we have no clue as to how it works. This will be another project. After deciding the amount of liquid was beyond our capability to deal with, we contacted Gabriel from the yard, and he arranged for Alejandro and Roberto to come and pump out the liquid. They removed approximately 60 liters of liquid from the bilge. As Alejandro was cleaning the lower bilge, more liquid continued to trickle in, and it appeared we had a leak from the fuel tank. I'm sorry I didn't get video of this. I was rather consumed and distracted with the problem facing us. Baba 35s originally came with iron fuel tanks, and this fuel tank is aluminum. Once we looked closely, we could see where the floor had been carefully cut to allow removal of the original tank. Visually examining the current tank from the top and checking the fuel level, which was full, the tank looked good. Alan Smith, our surveyor, indicated he would like to come out and take a look at the tank, only he wasn't available for a couple of days. When he did come, the trickle had slowed to a few drips, and he didn't seem to be overly concerned. Sure enough, within a day or two, the bilge was completely dry. Alan said the water in the bilge was probably water that had come down our keel's stepped mast during Hurricane Newton. We later learned from the previous owners the lazarette leaks copiously during heavy rain. The tank saga continued up until our very last hours on the boat. Marisa, our ever so resourceful boat broker, contacted Jose Reyes, a tank expert from San Carlos, and he came out to check and clean the tank. We knew there was a fuel uptake problem when we had the engine checked in July, and in talking with other cruisers, the general consensus was, why keep 30 gallons of fuel that had already been sitting around for 2 years? Jose, also known as Capitan Crow, circulated the diesel through the tank until he had suctioned everything he could off the bottom of the tank, and there was a lot of gunk. He then pumped the contents out, and we have an empty tank. Before refilling the tank at splash time, we will remove the inspection plate and swab out any further liquid accumulation. The mysterious liquid substance problem appears to be solved, and if we had pulled the tank like we were initially inclined, it would have all been for nothing. Our North American shoreside attitude of getting the job done ASAP needs a little adjusting, and maybe mañana is not such a bad idea after all. On another note, we have been talking about an addition of a granny post, our mast pulpit, to assist me at the mast. Lee had a great idea of using PVC pipe to make a mock-up. Good thing he did, because it helped us realize just how little room at the mast there would be for it, and that it would interfere with the staysail track. The granny post idea has been put on hold until we do some sailing on La Brisa. Our friend Scott can only shake his head at our idiocy of buying a boat that has so much work to do. However, there is a silver lining in all the problems we are encountering, and that is we will know our boat inside and out before she even hits the water. So when, not if, things go wrong, we will be better prepared with our knowledge of all the components of La Brisa. Join us in the next episode to find out what else went awry. Splash in November? More like December if everything goes well.